So now we're going to move on to the next topic in our show, which is public banking. And we're joined by two very special guests, Gwen and Nichole. Thank you so much for being here. Gwen Hallsmith from the Public Banking Institute and Nichole Linchen? Linchen, I'm so sorry, I apologize.
Right.
From Banking Santa Fe. This has been a hot topic lately. It came up during the mayoral campaigns. It was something that Mayor Javier Gonzalez is making a priority, and it's been building momentum. It originally was pushed at the state, if I'm not mistaken, but we haven't had a lot of luck there, so we're moving on, and we're really trying to focus on making something special happen in Santa Fe. So thank you so much for being here, and Gwen, especially you came all the way out from Vermont to join us today, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So tell me a little more, Gwen, we'll start with you, and then Nichole will talk with you as well about how you got involved in public banking and why you think it's such an important issue, and then what you're doing now around public banking in Vermont and in Santa Fe as well to really move this issue forward.
Great, well thanks. Gosh, I got involved in public banking largely due to my writing on monetary reform. I wrote a book with Bernard Lietaer called Creating Wealth, which talked about the need to change our monetary system and make it more democratic. After the book was published in 2011, I pulled together a group in Vermont that I called the Vermont Monetary Policy Advisory Committee, which actually got a lot of chuckles because people mostly think that monetary policy happens at the national level, not at the state level. But there's a lot we can do to change the way money works in our communities. We can do complementary currencies like time banks and mission dollars, which just got a lot of attention. I think it's out in LA. We can do public banking that mobilizes our public resources to economic development, housing, student loans, and infrastructure. So we pulled together this group, and public banking turned out to be one of the things that the group was really interested in working on in Vermont. So we filed legislation to do a study on public banking, and since then we filed legislation to actually give our Vermont Economic Development Authority a banking license and to transfer 10% of the deposits that the state treasurer has on deposit into that bank as a way of getting it started.
And it comes out to about $50 million now.
That's right. Now, the banking license part did not succeed, but the $50 million part did.
Okay.
And so as a result of our efforts, we've seen now a lot more credit available to businesses, homeowners, students, and infrastructure in Vermont that wouldn't have been available otherwise.
Fantastic. And Nichole, how about you? And so you're involved here in Banking Santa Fe.
Banking on New Mexico.
Banking on New Mexico, got it. And I know this is something that we've tried to do a couple of times at the legislature, haven't had a lot of luck with. What's the plan moving forward for Santa Fe, and how do we get it done here? And then how did you get involved?
Well, Brian Egolf, our representative, introduced legislation in the legislature for 5 or 6 years, actually, and he is working on a model that is very similar to what Gwen has just talked about, but there is a lot of competition for public dollars in the legislature, shall we say. So we're anticipating it's going to be a big challenge. At the local level, we feel we've got a lot of support to get going and less red tape to move through. And we have a willing city staff and public that is very interested in getting their public dollars invested locally.